Will Levis, the star quarterback from the University of Kentucky, came into the 2023 NFL Draft Complex in Kansas City, primed to celebrate being a top 10 draft pick with his family, girlfriend, and other loved ones. But his girlfriend, Gia Duddy, and his sister, Kelley Levis, may have been the ones that had the life-changing moments. So stick with us, as in this video we will cover everything from Will Levis's early life and family, high school and college stats and accomplishments, all the way to his NFL draft slide and the unexpected viral rise of his girlfriend Gia and his sister Kelley. William Donovan Levis was born on the 27th of June in 1999 in Newton, Massachusetts, to parents Mike and Beth Kelley. Will's father, Mike, played football at Denison University in an NCAA Division III school, which is based in Ohio, while his mother, Beth Kelley, was a two-time All-American in soccer at the University of Yale. So it was clear at an early age that Will would have the athletic ability and would be encouraged and supported in sports. Will spent the first 7 years of his life in North Attleboro, Massachusetts, until moving to Madison, Connecticut, where he lived all throughout his teenage years. Will's father, Mike, noticed his competitive nature and athletic ability at an early age, around 5th or 6th grade, while playing baseball, youth football, and basketball. Mike said Will always expected the outcome of the game to end in his favor, and just always wanted to be the best at whatever he was doing at that time. Will was quoted as saying, "My dad is my role model. He was the one who taught me how to be a man and how to respect our family name." Then speaking about his mother, Will commented, "My mom is a firecracker. She is probably where I got my competitive nature from. She is smart, beautiful, athletic, and the most passionate woman I know." Then Will's mom, about his competitiveness, mentioned that as soon as Will could walk and talk, he seemed to have a special sense of purpose. When Will was young, his friend's dad transformed a barn into a gym, and that was where Will worked every day growing up. In 7th grade, when Will decided he wanted to commit to playing quarterback, he knew he was going to have to put in some extra effort, especially in the spring. He found Travis Meyer, a private quarterback coach. Will said that Travis was basically the guy that taught me how to throw a football. Travis said that Will had tremendous athletic ability, was coachable, and had a football mind. Travis continued to coach Will even up till college. When Will hit high school, he was prepared and shined early. Levis attended Xavier High School in Middletown, Connecticut. Coaches noticed early on in his freshman year that he was making passes that most quarterbacks can't make. He was able to recognize coverages, make reads, and learn quickly. Will recounted a game during his senior year where they were down big at halftime, and his coach told him he needed to take over the game. So Will went out and scored on 6 straight drives, including one play where he rolled out right and threw a 50 or 60-yard backside slant. Now, even though they still lost that game, that was when Will gained the confidence that he could really play at that level and possibly at the higher levels. He set school records as a senior with 27 passing touchdowns and 2,793 passing yards. Levis finished his high school career with 5,419 passing yards and 55 passing touchdowns, while adding 327 rushing yards and 12 more rushing touchdowns. Out of high school, Levis committed to play football for Penn State. Will redshirted for the 2018 season and then spent the next 2 years, 2019 and 2020, as Sean Clifford's backup. He made his first career start against Rutgers in 2019, completing 8 of 14 passes for 81 yards with 1 touchdown, 1 interception, and 108 rushing yards. Overall at Penn State, he completed 61 of 102 passes for 644 yards, 3 passing touchdowns, and 2 interceptions. He also rushed for 473 yards and 6 touchdowns. After not getting the playing time he was looking for at Penn State, Levis transferred to the University of Kentucky and became a Wildcat. Interesting note though, before transferring to Kentucky, Will was able to graduate early with a bachelor's degree in finance from Penn State. So Levis would be pursuing his master's degree while at Kentucky. So let's take a quick break from football and talk a little bit about Will's personal life and girlfriend, Gia Duddy. The two met while both were attending Penn State. Gia is majoring in behavioral science and is set to graduate in the spring or summer of 2023. Now, as we mentioned earlier, Levis transferred to Kentucky in 2021, so to help with the long-distance relationship, Gia tried to travel to as many of Will's games as possible. The couple has been together a little over 2 years now, and with Gia graduating, and with Will starting a new career in the NFL, this will be the perfect opportunity for them to move to the same city and end the long-distance relationship. Or maybe they will see it as an excuse to go their separate ways. Gia just recently posted in social media saying, "In addition to that, I've just been kind of struggling with finding balance in my life and doing what makes me happy versus what makes others happy. I'm just the type of person that loves to be productive. I honestly feel like it's my time. I'm ready to move on. So what that really means? Well, only Gia knows, but we will just have to wait and see. Now, back to football. Levis was named the starter to open the season for the Wildcats, and in his first start threw for 367 yards and 4 touchdowns. Levis started all 13 games for Kentucky, completing 233 of 353 passes for 2,827 yards and 24 touchdown passes, while running for 376 yards and 9 touchdowns on 107 rushes. Levis led the team to a victory over number 15 Iowa in the 2022 Citrus Bowl. Will's second season at Kentucky in 2022, he started 11 games and had a record of 7-4. He missed 2 games of the season due to suffering a toe injury. He completed 185 of 283 passes for 2,406 yards with 19 touchdowns and 10 interceptions. So when the 2023 NFL draft talk started coming around, hopes were very high for Levis. Many analysts had him as a number 3 quarterback option in the draft with a probable top 10 overall pick. One analyst even saw the possibility of a second overall pick scenario. But when draft day came around, Levis was on the big stage, looking sharp in his tailored suit. He had his own section with his mom, sisters, and girlfriend surrounding him on the couch, all anticipating Will's name being called and being able to celebrate Levis's new life in the NFL. But things didn't quite go as planned. Will Levis's 6'4", 229-pound size made him a desirable prospect, along with his insane arm strength. However, there were concerns about his accuracy and mechanics that made some teams hesitant to pick Levis. First pick of the draft was no surprise when the Carolina Panthers picked Bryce Young, QB from Alabama. But when the Houston Texans picked CJ Stroud as their quarterback with the second overall pick, emotions started to change a little. Then with the 4th overall pick having the Indianapolis Colts select another quarterback in Anthony Richardson, a little fear and doubt had started to sink in for Levis. For the next couple of hours, before every pick, the TV cameras would pan over to Levis's section to check on them in anticipation of whether or not that pick would be Will's big moment. But every time, it wasn't. We went through the 10th pick, the 15th pick, the 20th pick, and still nothing. ESPN's Chris Mortensen felt the draft day slide of Will Levis was because of his undisclosed toe injury. He tweeted, Will Levis's left toe that caused him to miss 2 games last year was problematic for one team that considered him. Levis says the toe has healed and is good to go. Another team believes that Levis could manage it but thought surgery would need discussion after season. While the whole nation continuously watched Will Levis sitting there dazed and confused, fans couldn't help but notice how many beautiful women he had around him all night. This was the storyline that actually took center stage on social media. The internet lit up with comments like these. How many girlfriends does Will Levis have? Or does Will Levis have like 7 girlfriends? I feel like a different girl is humping him every time they show him. Or Will Levis has been sitting with a different girl every time they have showed him. Franchise QB. Now eventually, the internet started to figure it out. Only one was his girlfriend, Gia Duddy, who was looking absolutely heavenly in a red dress that tightly hugged her perfectly shaped curves. Now, fans, in attempts to console Will, were saying that he shouldn't feel dejected because he still gets to go home to a beautiful woman. Also sitting on the couch with Will was his sister Kelley, who also turned some heads and got people talking on social media. Another beautiful woman by Will's side seemingly getting more attention than he was. After the fans figured out who she was, they must have liked her green bikini and her night out attire because the Kelley Levis Instagram gained thousands of followers the night of the draft. The New York Post even wrote an article titled Will Levis's sister Kelley was the star of NFL Draft's Green Room. I'm sure both Gia and Kelley will be able to ride this wave for a little and maybe parlay it into some business opportunities for themselves. Will Levis had to wait till the next night of the draft, but he was eventually selected with the 2nd pick of round 2, 33rd pick overall, by the Tennessee Titans. Levis will lose out on millions of dollars on his rookie contract for not being a top 10 pick, but in the long term, he doesn't need to worry too much about the draft day slide because even Aaron Rodgers was supposed to go 1st overall in the 2005 NFL draft and was selected 24th by the Packers. Rodgers turned out all right with a Super Bowl ring, 4 NFL MVPs. Also, Tom Brady was the 199th pick in 2000, and, well, we all know what he's done. So Levis has the power to write his own destiny because it doesn't matter which round you get picked. If you have the talent and get the opportunity, you can prove your worth on the field and get paid in the future. Make sure to like and subscribe to NFL Gems so you don't miss out on any of our awesome NFL lifestyle videos.